Let's not even do like an intro or anything.
We'll just jump into it.
We're here at Avegant checking out their new Lightfield display mixed reality glasses.
First off, the best demo room ever.
I know.
Because it had it was like couches and carpets. They had music that was going along with everything.
The lights and
which I guess is really helpful for an AR demo because you don't have the benefit of headphones that you have on your VR experience. But that was a nice little touch.
they had like surround speakers around it, so it was like really spatialized.
Yeah.
And they created like a living room, futuristic living room experience. Yeah.
So when I saw the thing, first thing I thought was like fat HoloLens. So it was what it looked like. It had the same Halo, head mounting scheme.
The little tiara.
Yeah, and then the visor in front.
Yep.
And so I was like, it was just like a fat HoloLens. And then they started it up, and it felt like the visuals look more like the Meta actually. So I think that kind of like you can see the screen, but you're supposed to look through the screen, but it's still kind of in your face a little bit. I don't know that I ever had that sensation that what I'm seeing is actually in the room with me with this.
And I think that's mostly due to the fact that the tracking wasn't like where you'd want it to be. It was like floaty or jittery, and I think that is what really gives something its realness. Like,
exactly, yeah.
But the display looked crisp, and I think that's something that Avegant has always done really well.
You're right. I think the display is what they want us to see the most of all. They kept saying throughout the demo, like, do you see how real that looks? Look how close you can get. It was less like, do you feel immersed and do you feel like that's really there? It was more, you can get right up to her face and you can see the pores on her skin.
Right.
And
no screen door effect,
stuff.
I'll say. Like,
yeah,
could you see pixels? Like,
no, it just looked like
maybe they'll have to find a right balance of like what to focus on that's still in full view, even with the field of view, which was around, I'd say like this. It's like a 15-inch MacBook screen, a little bit bigger than a.
Sounds about right. If you're carrying your laptop around in front of you.
Well, that's just how I've heard HoloLens Mac field
Which
of
is
view.
still the most frustrating part about AR. It's just that you want to get close to something there was a turtle at one point or the planets, but then the closer you get, like all of a sudden that spherical shape that looked so real is now just a rectangle of color.
Right. Even faces, like it gets the top and head thing cut off as you get up close. You're like, well. I'm kind of worried about waveguides though, and how they can solve the field of view problem, because like he kind of said that this is kind of the outer edge of what you can get with these like. So waveguides are just like essentially glass that's curved that's getting light beamed through it, so that's beamed into your eye. And it seems like everything what we've seen is like it's kind of constrained, and so that's what I was trying to get at is are there ways around that, and maybe if you can combine two things. We don't know yet, but for now this is as good as it's going to get.
It just seems like everybody in AR now is solving one problem.
Yeah, one problem at a time.
And
basically.
There's 50. So like it feels like everybody is like everyone we see is sort of along the lines of we've got a really good display, doesn't track so good, and then HoloLens is like we've got really good tracking, but the field is very small and like you can wear it. So it just seems like, and I say it all the time, but I think what we want AR to be and what it's going to be aren't going to be the same thing for a while. So overall thoughts, I think what we saw today was a very cool component of AR, which is, like we said, most things are. They're cool components of a very big machine that's going to take years to build, and a lot of people that either become willing to do what I think these guys are going to do, which is license and just be content with focusing on one part of the tech. So I don't know if what we saw today is something anyone will ever be able to straight up buy, but I think it'll be in something you buy in the next 5 to 10 years. And,
I'd say so.
And if that's true, then it's pretty cool. So
is my correct?
No, I see what you're saying. I think it's like
hard to sell.
When you see something like the early days of the internet, you could see it when they would send like one pixel to each other, and they're like cheering in the room, and now you're like, who cares? It's like it's that kind of thing. Like we're in these, like the law of diminishing returns hasn't kicked in yet, where things are going to get, every little step is very cool or should be considered very cool. So having a display that good is very cool. Very exciting stuff. Thank you to Avegant for having us out. Thank you for watching. And
like and subscribe,
like and
guys.
Subscribe, bros. You see that button? You better click it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.